Please be seated. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite Auntie Kerry Kenton, representative of the Darug people, to offer the traditional welcome to country. Auntie Kerry. Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to introduce the Chancellor of Macquarie University, the Honourable Michael Egan AO. Chancellor.
Thank you, Auntie Kerry, for that lovely welcome to country. Well, graduands, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and I'm pleased to see today that we have a number of very little boys and girls, tiny tots, and indeed also a number of babies. Now, I want to assure you that this is a very baby-friendly graduation. They are most welcome, and what's more, they are allowed to run around and they are allowed to make as much noise as they like. You are not to take them out if they start to scream or wail or cry. We actually like that. A graduation ceremony is a celebration, and every celebration is enhanced by the presence of little children and babies and enhanced by the noise they make. In any event, we know from past experience that the louder a baby wails through a graduation ceremony, the more likely it is to come back within 25 years to get their first PhD. So they are very, very welcome. It is my very great honour and privilege to preside at this important celebration today. I first welcome all of our graduands, and I hope that today will be a very happy and memorable occasion for all of you. And looking at your faces, I'm sure it will be for most, but I'm a bit worried because there are a couple of people who look a bit nervous. Now, there's nothing to be nervous about. You have already passed your exams, so you don't have to do another one, at least not for this degree. Nothing can really go wrong. Well, perhaps it could. Your trencher could fall off, in which case we pick it up and plonk it back on your head. We have known people to trip as they come up here. That's fine. It's all part of the show. We pick you up and send you on your way. And that's what all these people are here for, to pick you up when you fall. But it is important that you relax and enjoy the day because you deserve to. You deserve to take pride, great pride in your graduation. Completing a degree is never easy. You need an intelligent and inquiring mind. You need determination and perseverance, and you need to make many sacrifices. So welcome and congratulations to each and every one of you. Today I also want to welcome, and especially welcome, those of you who are sitting on that side of the room or behind our graduands, because if you think about it for a moment, you've all obviously done well too. The very fact that you're here, the fact that you've been invited by one of our graduands to share one of the great days of their lives is proof positive that you've been very important in their lives and in the successes that we celebrate today. And I don't want you to think either that observing today's graduation is the end of your role, because I have another very important service for you to perform for our newest graduates, as they'll soon become. I want you to make sure that the degrees they receive today are never ever put in a bottom drawer, but are always proudly displayed in a position of prominence. In other words, if our graduands are too self-effacing to proclaim their own success, you make sure you do it for them. Now, the ceremony that we're about to participate in is one of the world's oldest social rituals. For centuries, graduates have been donning robes just like the ones our graduands are wearing today, and participating in ceremonies just like this one. Indeed, there are some 50 universities in the world which can trace their history back more than 500 years. Now, of course, Macquarie is not one of those 50 universities. We're still pretty young, only 51 years of age. At least that's young to me. It might not be to some of our other people here today, particularly the young undergraduates. We proudly take our name from Australia's greatest colonial governor, Governor Lachlan Macquarie, a man whose greatness and achievements were never acknowledged by his contemporaries, but only by history. Those of us who went to school in New South Wales were taught that Macquarie was a great builder, but his greatest legacy had nothing to do with bricks and mortar. His greatest legacy was the ethos he established, much to the annoyance of the British authorities, of an egalitarian society, because it was Macquarie's insistence that in this fledgling convict colony there be no distinction between the free and the freed that was the foundation of the Australian notion of a fair go for all. And that is the legacy that here at Macquarie we will always aim to maintain and honour. After our first 51 years, we now have more than 167,000 actually, Macquarie graduates living in more than 142 countries. Macquarie is a very modern and outward-looking university. From our beginnings, we have defied the traditional boundaries of academia. We have pioneered and continue to pioneer learning and teaching approaches that challenge conventions and shift thinking. Our students play a major role in their own learning and are empowered to guide what and how they learn. We're also research pioneers. Our framework for the future, world-leading research with world-changing impact, is brought to life by renowned researchers whose bold and innovative solutions to issues of global significance greatly benefit the world we live in. And that's not an idle boast. I don't know how many of you are aware that Wi-Fi, something we almost all use almost every day, was actually developed by Macquarie University scientists in conjunction with CSIRO scientists. So it's not something that was developed in Oxford or Cambridge or Harvard or the ANU. It was developed here by Macquarie University scientists with the CSIRO. So we're very proud of that. We've also been investing heavily in new facilities. You may, on your way here today, have seen our Macquarie University Hospital, which is only a few years old. The hospital forms part of a very exciting medical enterprise, which will become Australia's first fully integrated academic health sciences centre under the leadership of a university. And it really is a first-class hospital. I can attest to that personally. 2 years ago, I was a patient for 3 days, and I can absolutely assure you that the standard of care is absolutely first-rate, especially if you're the Chancellor. Other outstanding facilities include the Australian Hearing Hub, a world-leading institute in hearing and language sciences, a state-of-the-art media centre, a newly launched simulation hub for teaching and research and cutting-edge science laboratories. So we're looking forward and we're on the move. Here at Macquarie, we have a very clear and straightforward mission, and that mission is to transform people's lives and to improve the lives not just of our own students, but also of people all around the globe by the work and achievements of our graduates and by the fruit of our research. We want Macquarie always to be a leader in teaching and learning and a leader in the accumulation of knowledge and understanding. In other words, an ideal community of scholars. And graduands, in just a few minutes, it will be my very great honour to confer your degrees upon you and welcome you as lifelong members of that community of scholars we proudly call Macquarie University. Now, ladies and gentlemen and graduands, it's our pleasure at today's ceremony to honour, in accordance with a resolution of the University Council, Emeritus Professor David Weisbrot for admission to the degree of Doctor of Letters honoris causa of Macquarie University. I now invite Professor Bruce Doughton, the Vice-Chancellor of Macquarie University, to read the citation. Professor Doughton.
Chancellor, thank you. As Chair of the Australian Press Council, Emeritus Professor David Weisbrot has had an illustrious career in the law, spanning many countries, branches of the profession and multiple fields of interest. Foundation Fellow of the Australian Academy of Law, he is a Commissioner of the New South Wales Law Reform Commission. His previous academic roles include serving as Dean of 2 major law schools, and Adjunct Professor of Law and Governance at Macquarie University Law School. Professor Weisbrot rose to public prominence as the longest-serving president of the Australian Law Reform Commission. During his 10-year stint at the Commission from 1999 to 2009, he chaired 15 major inquiries. These included the landmark Attorney General's National Task Force on Pro Bono Legal Services and reviews into the federal civil justice system, privacy and secrecy laws. His keen interest in genetics was sparked by reviews he chaired into the protection of human genetic information and gene patenting. After serving 2 terms as a member of the Human Genetics Advisory Committee of the National Health and Medical Research Council of Australia, he received the Council's biennial award for the most outstanding contribution to health and medical research in 2010. His expertise in this specialist field of law explains his appointment as a member of the Human Genome Organisation and as a strategic advisory board member of the Garvan Institute for Medical Research and their Centre for Clinical Genomics. Raised in the United States, Professor Weisbrot qualified with a Bachelor of Arts with honours degree from the City University of New York and a Juris Doctor degree from the University of California in Los Angeles. He practiced as an attorney in California before being lured to the Pacific, where by 1978 he had risen to the position of Dean of Law at the University of Papua New Guinea. He served on the Law Reform Commission in Fiji and as a legal consultant to several Pacific Island governments. He moved to Australia to take up an academic role at the University of New South Wales. Registered as a barrister to the Supreme Court of New South Wales, he became Dean of Law and Pro-Vice-Chancellor of Humanities and Social Sciences at the University of Sydney. He was a deft and skilled administrator, genuinely interested in the welfare of colleagues and the people he served. His leadership roles ranged from being a director of the board of the Australian Academy of Law to advisory council member of Voiceless, the Animal Protection Institute. Professor Weisbrot has written and co-authored 10 legal books and more than 200 official reports, journal articles and conference papers. In 2006, he was awarded a centenary medal by the Australian government. 3 years later, Professor Weisbrot received an Order of Australia for services to the law in the areas of law reform, education and access to legal services, and through contributions to research, analysis and policy development on a range of matters of public interest. Chancellor, it is with extraordinary pleasure that I present to you Emeritus Professor David Weisbrot for the award of the degree Doctor of Letters honoris causa.
Emeritus Professor David Weisbrot, in the name of the Council of Macquarie University and by my authority as Chancellor, I admit you to the degree of Doctor of Letters honoris causa. I now invite Professor Weisbrot to deliver the occasional address. Professor Weisbrot.
Thank you, Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, faculty, graduands, family, and friends. Chancellor Egan, my sincerest thanks for this enormous honor. It came totally unexpectedly, but it's all the more cherished for that, especially since my wife and children can be here today to celebrate with me. I do really appreciate it. Please pardon me if I seem a little bit nervous. I haven't spoken in front of this many lawyers since my bar mitzvah in New York, and that was nearly a decade ago, so I forgot what it's like. I think I can say with a lot of confidence that there's never been a more exciting time to be a Macquarie graduate. In fact, as you processed in, I couldn't help but notice how nimble, agile, and dare I say innovative you all looked in your 12th century academic regalia. All of us in fancy gear today have taken different routes to this occasion. Some took only a few years after leaving high school as if shot out of a cannon, and I hope all of you will have soft landings. Others have negotiated more challenging twists and turns, some of them consciously chosen by us and some unexpectedly thrown at us. If you are in that latter category, nothing you encounter in your professional life will come as much of a surprise. You should never forget that you were aided in getting this far by three essential factors: the love and support of family and friends, hard work, and some good luck. For example, you were lucky enough to do your degree at Macquarie, one of the very few Australian law schools in this era of academic factory farming, to retain its love of teaching and learning, its respect and commitment to students, and its long-term commitment to social justice. Contrary to what the Chancellor said just moments ago, and I'm loath to correct you, it's never too late for a pop quiz. So I'd like you to get out your pens and papers and then answer this question. What do the following people have in common? Nelson Mandela, Mahatma Gandhi, John Cleese, Fidel Castro, Barack and Michelle Obama, Hillary and Bill Clinton, Princess Mary of Denmark and Hobart. The order might be wrong, but you know what I mean. Most of the Chaser boys, actress Rebel Wilson and TV star Charlie Pickering, former head of the Football Federation and now Rugby League CEO David Gallup, wine expert James Halliday, Midnight Oil singer turned politician Peter Garrett, 4 of the last 7 Australian prime ministers, and Chester Carlson, who received the patent for inventing the photocopier. No doubt so he could spend more time perusing documents. Well, I'm sure you've guessed, like all of you, each of these people graduated with a law degree, even if they're now more famous or infamous in some cases for other pursuits. They all had to ponder what to do with life after law school. So, do I foment revolution in Cuba, or do I do taxation law in Panama? Those sorts of thorny questions. I think we know which one Fidel chose, but for others, not so clear. That task has never been more open, nor more challenging. From 1788 until the mid-1970s, around the time I arrived in this part of the world, the Australian profession consisted almost entirely of single lawyer or small firms of solicitors with a tiny coterie of barristers. The income staples were conveyancing, overwhelmingly. About 2/3 of lawyers' income at that time was made up of conveyancing, with some wills and probate, commercial law, personal injury, workers' comp, and the odd divorce. There were only 7 law schools in the whole country, 1 in each state capital and in Canberra. Remarkably, there wasn't a single law firm that crossed the Sydney-Melbourne divide. And I was very confidently told at that time that there never would be, that the cultures were far too different, the rivalries were far too strong. There was no legal aid system. There was no Aboriginal legal services. There were no community legal centers. Again, this is only as far back as 1975. There were relatively few legal jobs in government, and there was no such thing as an in-house legal department. There were relatively few women lawyers in Australia. The percentage in 1911 was, according to the census, 0.2%. In 1947, after World War II, 2.6%. And in 1971, only 40-odd years ago, just 6%. As late as 1986, women accounted for only 17% of the profession, and a far smaller proportion of judges, QCs, law professors, and the like. Things began to change dramatically in the mid-1970s, however. The first mining boom prompted the development of the large commercial law firms that we mostly know today. The Whitlam government established federal courts and administrative tribunals, including the Federal Court of Australia and the Family Court of Australia, the Administrative Appeals Tribunal, and so on. It funded legal aid for the first time ever on a national basis. It funded the establishment of the Aboriginal Legal Service and a system of community legal centres. It established the Australian Law Reform Commission, on which I proudly served, the Human Rights Commission, the Federal Ombudsman's Office, and many, many other important public institutions. Australian society itself began to change significantly during that time and demand that our new values and beliefs be reflected in the law. More liberal, more tolerant, more liberal with a small L, I should say, more tolerant, more multicultural, more concerned about fairness and social justice, more interested in higher education, and more outward-looking. And now, the practice of law has probably changed more in the last 2 decades than it did in the preceding 200 years. And we're still in a period of quite dynamic change, driven by the usual factors: competition, globalization, deregulation, and the remarkable advances in information and communications technology. And I hope as well by the fact that women now account for well over 50% of law graduates at every major law school. We all assume that disruption and disruptive technologies will disrupt someone else. Factory workers, taxi drivers, travel agents, media organizations, but computers, robots, and artificial intelligence are coming for lawyers too. So we will have to be nimble and agile and think of new ways of doing things and think of new ways of adding value rather than simply collecting information that anyone can now do with a quick Google search. Career paths in law are now much less settled or predictable, but they're far more varied and engaging. There are still many opportunities to work in a small firm or a medium-sized firm or a large firm, a community legal center or a government law office. But it's also now realistic for the first time to think about being an international human rights lawyer or to work for a human rights NGO in Australia or overseas, or to work for a multinational corporation, whether based in Australia or overseas. And contrary to those confident predictions 40 years ago, Australian large firms now not only have offices in Sydney and Melbourne and Perth and Canberra and Brisbane and Adelaide, but also in New York, London, Shanghai, Beijing, and Tokyo. So a very large number of Australian lawyers work for the United Nations and other international institutions and tribunals, as well as for NGOs. We have some very important competitive advantages there. We're well educated, we're well traveled and worldly, we speak English, and we're not American. New fields and styles of practice will continue to emerge, and they will emerge particularly for those with sound legal training and strong strategic skills. When I entered law school, there was no such thing as a human rights lawyer, an environmental lawyer, a native title lawyer, a cyber lawyer, a marriage equality campaigner, or an animal rights lawyer. Now I know people happily engage for profit in all of those fields, or for remuneration anyway, in all of those fields. I'm delighted that very shortly we'll see my former student, Jed Goodfellow, just below me, receive his PhD in animal welfare law. Again, a field that didn't exist when I was a law student. And then after the ceremony, presumably he'll return to his full-time job as an animal welfare lawyer. In the coming years, other new and exciting areas will emerge which we can't even imagine now. The best preparation for all of this is a legal education that avoids rote learning and focuses on the development of high-order legal skills, intellectual, strategic, and communication skills. It's an education that focuses on what you should be able to do, not on what you should be able, not on what you remember in the dim, distant time from a no doubt excellent lecture about legislation that's since been amended several times. In other words, the kind of legal education that you received here at Macquarie Law School. If I can offer myself as Exhibit A, I've worked as a community, pretty much in order, a community legal center lawyer, a private practitioner, a parliamentary draftsman, a legal academic, a law dean and pro-vice chancellor, a law reformer, an advisor on the ethical, social, and legal implications of new medical technologies, and now as chair of the Australian Press Council, or as I prefer to think of it, an expert in media counter-errorism. Drawing from what's been an unusually diverse and satisfying career, let me end my talk with the customary 5 tips for success. I know you would be very disappointed if I didn't offer those to you. First, don't settle. You will probably find yourself spending much more time with your professional colleagues than with your life partner. And while your life partner may make you do some unpleasant chores, they probably won't assign you to discovery and having to answer 80,000 interrogatories that have logged into your inbox on a Friday afternoon, designed to drive your client crazy and you crazy. So no matter how seemingly seductive this salary, think about whether that's really what you want to do with the rest of your life. Second, very important, find a mentor or two. The legal profession contains a large number of brilliant people who are also quite generous with their time. At critical times in my career, I was enormously privileged to have the likes of Professor Julius Stone and Justices Michael Kirby, Robert Hope, and Gordon Samuels, all to talk to bounce ideas off of, to read my drafts, and to serve as referees for jobs. In retrospect, I can't believe my audacity in asking the legendary Julius Stone if he minded reading some first drafts of law review articles that I had been prepared. But I asked him, and he did. Just don't be afraid to ask. Third, stretch yourself. If you're enjoying what you're doing, and you're doing it well, and there's a very high correlation between those things, as you know, then by all means, keep doing it. But avoid complacency. In a dynamic legal environment, it's simply not enough to keep up. You've got to stay ahead of the game. You've got to be aware of what legislative and procedural changes may be on the horizon. You have to help shape that environment. You need to understand the latest cutting-edge technology that not only influences your work, but that may have an impact on your client's field as well. And you have to understand what's happening here and overseas, because these days those ideas move internationally with literally with lightning speed. 4, give something back. So there's a cynical but persistent stereotype in the community that lawyers are only in it for money. Nothing makes me more annoyed, because Australian lawyers are among the most responsible, in the world in terms of providing free legal services. At the moment, Australian lawyers average 35 hours of free pro bono service per year, and some do, of course, considerably more than that. This is partly because most lawyers genuinely believe in the service ideal and in the importance of the rule of law and access to justice, but it's also partly about providing yourself with opportunities to do work that's intellectually demanding, socially worthwhile, and soul-satisfying. Take those opportunities. And finally, and I can't emphasize this enough, take chances. If an interesting and unexpected opportunity arises, then be brave enough to grab it. If your friends tell you that a particular position is a poison chalice, then grab it with both hands. If you're offered an interesting position and as has happened to me twice now, and your bank manager can't tell you what currency you'll be paid in or what that equals in Australian dollars, then immediately email your acceptance. Not every adventure will be positive, of course, but all will teach you something very important. Thank you, Chancellor. Thank all of you for your kind attention and for the great honor of my degree. Warmest wishes to all of you for every success. And again, I think it's probably all the more important to you that you can share it with your dearest family and friends. Thank you and good luck.
Well, if anyone was in any doubt, Professor Weisbrot has proved absolutely beyond doubt that you can be a lawyer and have a sense of humour. He listed a number of roles he'd filled during his career. One was a legal draftsman, and that's a much underestimated skill. As someone who was in Parliament for many years, a really good legal draftsman is worth their weight in gold. But there was one other role he could have mentioned, and that was a stand-up comic. So please make sure you include that in the future. He also talked about the enormous changes in the legal profession and indeed in the world during his lifetime. And I was thinking about some of them, which I don't think have made the life of lawyers any easier. In fact, I think they've made it very difficult. One was the invention of the photocopy machine. Now, when I was at Sydney University in the mid-1960s, Sydney University proudly boasted that it had a photocopy machine, which was in the Fisher Library. It was $1 a copy, 10 cents a copy, which was a lot of money in those days, and it printed in reverse, so white print on black. So you got your hands covered in ink whenever you photocopied something. But the other thing that I think has really made life difficult for lawyers is the invention of the email. And so now, whenever you're involved in a legal dispute, there are thousands upon thousands upon thousands of documents that you have to traipse through. And that means that there's a lot of drudgery often involved in legal work. And so I want to add to the tips that Professor Weisbrot has given you another one, and that is make sure if you're working for one of those big legal firms, you do not become a slave. In fact, if there's any profession that needs a trades union, it's young lawyers, and they don't have one. It's time you got one, because very often some of those big legal firms have really turned you into slaves for the beginning of your career, and very often that's the reason people leave the profession. So don't be stood over. I think you've been privileged today to hear a great occasional address, and I think we should put our hands together again for Professor Weisbrot. Well, I mentioned to you earlier that there was nothing to feel nervous about, but we now come to the key part of the ceremony, the conferring of degrees, which is the only part of the ceremony that makes me a little bit nervous, because I was once informed by a friend of mine, the former Chief Justice of New South Wales, Jim Spiegelman, that if I conferred a degree on someone who wasn't eligible to receive it, there was nothing I could do to take it back. So I want to make absolutely certain that all of you today are eligible for your degree, and in order to satisfy myself, I need assurance from the Deputy Registrar that none of you were ever late in submitting an assignment, that none of you ever skipped a class. Jonathan, can you give me that assurance, please?
Chancellor, I certify that all candidates being presented here today and those who are absent have satisfied the requirements of the Academic Senate for the degrees and diplomas they are to be awarded. Would all candidates for admission to degrees or diplomas please now stand?
Graduands, in the name of the Council of Macquarie University and by my authority as Chancellor, I admit each of you present and those who are absent to the degrees and diplomas for which you have qualified. Graduates, congratulations.
Chancellor, the graduates at this ceremony are from the Faculty of Arts and presented by the School of Law. Please be seated. Students and staff engage across the faculty and collaborate within and across disciplinary boundaries to ask questions about socially complex problems. They identify paths of research, analyse and communicate ideas in creative formats, and reflect on the skills and knowledge they will need to understand the world, past and present. Students are encouraged to use their skills and talents to connect with local and global communities. The faculty includes research and study areas in ancient history, anthropology, English, Indigenous studies, international studies, law, media, music, communication and cultural studies, modern history, politics and international relations, philosophy, sociology, and security studies and criminology. Chancellor, I now call on Professor Natalie Klein, the Dean of the Macquarie School of Law, to present the graduates. Professor Klein.
Chancellor, I present to you the graduates from the Faculty of Arts whom you have admitted to degrees. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts with the Bachelor of Laws with First Class Honours and the University Medal for Law, Samuel John Voller, who has been awarded the Vice-Chancellor's Commendation for Academic Excellence. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Laws with First Class Honours and the University Medal for Law, Dylan Anthony Heffernan. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts with the Bachelor of Laws with first class honours. Sydney Claire Abba. Nicola Amos. Claire Marie Jessica Bennett. Victoria Louise Caldwell. Stephanie Helen Fionn. Eliza Mary Fitzgerald. Danielle Kroon. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts with the Bachelor of Laws with honours. Emma Bigham. Miles Frederick Cuneo. Shah Dowdman. Nectaria Grivas. Renata Herzog. Lucy Florence Jordan. Annika Alice Leal. Christina Liddle. Gabrielle Lindsay. Brendan Michael Lord. Elizabeth Alice Mead. Holly Phoebe Perry. Meredith Shannon Rynan. Mia Victoria Sheldon. Leanne Tan. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts Media with the Bachelor of Laws with first class honours, Madeline Hunt. Christian Rasso. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts Media with the Bachelor of Laws with honours, Timothy James Allen. Rihanna Shakira Head Toussaint.
Timothy Roberts.
Rebecca Stokes. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts Psychology with the Bachelor of Laws with honours, Stuart Eric Peter Beck. Amelia Ann Goff Cooper.
Stuart, well done.
Rami Imad El Zahabi. Emma Nicole Swords. Carmen Melissa Van Ziel. Brioni Visser. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Bachelor of International Studies with the Bachelor of Laws with first class honours, Stuart Sturgius Katsounis. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of International Studies with the Bachelor of Laws with honours, Rosalie Mary Margaret Aldrich. Trishna Kashyap. Jia Eun Lee. Laura Margaret Muir. Sheridan Rose New. Leonie Roger. Saba Vayani Lai. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Science with the Bachelor of Laws with first class honours, Alice Maeve Livingstone Nelson. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Science with the Bachelor of Laws with honours, Alison Vaughan de Gruyter. Nadine Darshini Disi. There's always one, isn't there? Nadine Darshini Disanyake. Catherine Gillian Mortimer. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Social Science with the Bachelor of Laws with honours, Olivia Nunn. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Laws with first class honours, Maximilian William Barnett. Luke Dominish. Andrew Stephen Gill. Alexander Charles Walker. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Laws with Honours, Nicholas Louis Andrews. Christina Boyajian. Catherine Sophie Bromley. Christiane Kakamo. Sean Finnerty. Arani Tamara Ganendran. Lauren Hawke. Alexander Julian. Michelle Lee. Natalie Leah Roberta Mead. Michelle Kim Tien Nguyen. Richard James Ong. Sean William Pike. Sarah Sackville. Danton Laurent Stoloff. Amy Kathleen Stone. Jason Andrew Tomei. Christopher Malcolm Turner. Mitchell James Watkins. Stephanie Gretel Wright. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts with the Bachelor of Laws, Yona Bloom. Emily Jean Blewett. Cassandra Lee Brooks. Kai Bruce. Anna Rose Darrick Dobby. Anuj Pradip Devalia. Jessie Frances Donovan. Alexandra Hannah Eisen. Lillian Alice Elwood Hall. Hugh David Jonathan Fleming. Nicole Peter Ginocchio. Michelini Cartagius. James Thomas Keach. Tim Kai Timmy Lee. Patrick Tsun Chung Lo. Claire Madeline Mitchell.
Patrick, well done.
Nicola O'Brien. Sue Pango Frias. Zara Plummer. Edmund Neil Quinlan. Amelia Madeline Louise Reintal. Zoe Lara Robertson. Sanchia Scott. Christopher James Subris. Christopher Michael Sparks. Marie-Claire Elizabeth Tabuto. Mikhail Alexander Ushakov. Evan Terry Varlas. Ulysses Dean Young. Wen Yi Ju. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts Media with the Bachelor of Laws, Rebecca Kate Amat. Rebecca Antonucci. Catherine Louise Evans. Daniel Hawkes. Juliana Carufe. Marie-Claire Selim. Natasha Sturgis. Bridget Amanda Vale. Kane Virtue Wilson. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Psychology with the Bachelor of Laws. Enoch Huey. Samantha Rebecca Jones. Connor Patrick McCraith. Lauren Rowe. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of International Studies with the Bachelor of Laws. Lucy Ann Armstrong. David Richard Glenn. Nishtar Shetty. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Science with the Bachelor of Laws. Mazanul Alam. Madhulika Babu. Alison Chandler. Jodie Alexandra Hervey. Sahana Navaratnam. Cassia Angela Aksanov. Jessica Balea. Jessica Ann Goddard. Tony Zhang. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Fipe Lee Everett. Akshaya Sivakumar. Song Wang. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Laws. Alexis Jean-Louis Abel. Glenjohn Grant Aligianus. Upal Amin. Amanda Atzi. Rebecca Catherine Bestak. Abdul George Boutros. Sharon Yuhong Tsai. Catherine Kosivas. Luke James Del Monte. Rola El Eche. John Philippopoulos. Elizabeth Mary Harrison. Reese Timothy Harvey. Fiona Huhutis. Saya Hussain. Megan Coury. Jason William King. Kelvin Kwan. Joshua Jang Min Lee. Mohammed Mutasim Mahmood. Huang Tui Drang Mai. Dominic McCarthy. Bonnie Ann McMahon. Matthew John Mifsud. Melinda Morgan. Jackie Kwok Long Huynh Nguyen. Joseph Patrick Oliver. Elise Marie O'Sullivan. Angela Papalexandris. Andrew David Paslow. Francine Bernadette Pavkovich. Lauren Kate Ryan. David Simpson. Ritesh Raj Singh. Rebecca Siri. Simja Tekadag. Tanuja Visaga Murati. Lisa J. Williams. Nathan Woods. Yue Wu. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Social Science, Christina Janice Adolphus. I I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Environmental Law. Danielle Hartshorn. Glenn Stephen Hugo, who has been awarded the Vice-Chancellor's Commendation for Academic Excellence. Candice Bronwyn Pon. Chantel Alicia Wearty. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of International Trade and Commerce. Sonal Bala. Annie Elizabeth Cansdell. Yesul Chun. Netanun Decharat. Kate Flack. Nanchi Lee.
Thank you very much.
Serki Loire. Ratabodi Rachata Metakun. Daniel John Try. Piyamas Tunshiv. Naramal Yuyan. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Laws. Farazin Amjad. Sabina Alexa Diaz. Stephen James Millington, who has been awarded the Vice-Chancellor's Commendation for Academic Excellence. Wanwisa Promkayu. Pachania Sayog Umut. I present the diplomate awarded the Postgraduate Diploma of International Trade and Commerce, Shoaib Ahmed Mia. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Research. Francis Cole, for a thesis entitled Free as a Bird, Legal Outcomes and Public Perceptions of Gendered Violence Alleged of National Rugby League Players, 2 case studies. Danielle Moon, for a thesis entitled A Matter of Balance, Freedom of Information and Deliberative Documents. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Dr. Jed Andrew Goodfellow, for a thesis entitled Animal Welfare Regulation in the Australian Agricultural Sector, a Legitimacy Maximising Analysis. Dr. Ekaterina Sofronova, for a thesis entitled Non-Governmental Organisations and Environmental Governance in Russia. Chancellor, that completes this morning's presentation of the graduates from the Faculty of Arts.
Chancellor, I now call on Mr. Glenn Hugo, who is graduating today with a Master of Environmental Law, to speak on behalf of the graduating group. Mr. Hugo.
Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, distinguished faculty, graduates and guests. When I was first asked to speak today, I was apprehensive, being a town planner and a non-lawyer speaking at the law school graduation. However, we've all shared in our battles to understand the nuances of the Australian Legal Guide to Citation, especially those of us who never mastered EndNote. As most of you know, 50% of law graduates go on to work in other fields. Some might say they're the lucky ones. The study of law is always beneficial for anyone in life, no matter what career you choose. I've always liked Jerry Seinfeld's take on the study of law when he said, "What are lawyers really?" To me, the lawyer is basically the person who knows the rules of the country. We're all throwing the dice, playing the game, moving our pieces around the board. But if there's a problem, the lawyer is the only one who's read the underside of the top of the box. I think you can extend Jerry Seinfeld's meaning of the lawyer to anyone who has studied the law, as we all seek to understand the rules by which behaviour is altered and the outcomes that result. For those of you graduating today with bachelor degrees, don't think this is the end of your academic journey. In today's environment, lifelong learning is needed to excel in your chosen field and maintain your skills. Many of my friends have graduated from Macquarie Law School and gone on to do very well with in their specialisations, but they've all done so with the benefit of further postgraduate study. If you choose a career in law or go into another field, creating a specialisation for yourself is always a good move. I would encourage all of you, to not leave it too long before engaging on postgraduate studies, as I can tell you from first-hand experience that studying with children is challenging. Studying environmental law at Macquarie has provided me with a much greater understanding of planning law and exposed me to other environmental law that's relevant within my industry. My study has already helped me to progress my career and has led to several approaches for employment from other organisations. I have found postgraduate studies to be the best financial investment you can make in your life. I would encourage all of you to start thinking about further options for study that will build on your skills and assist you in achieving your goals and open more opportunities. Unlike some other law schools, Macquarie provides flexibility for those who are already in the workforce to study law. This is important for postgraduate students and paramount when determining which school they will study at. While studying at Macquarie, I've had the pleasure of being taught by some of the leading minds in environmental law, including Professor Zada Lippman, Dr. Robert Stokes and Judith Preston. There's no doubt that Macquarie Law School is a leader in planning and environmental law, which can boast within its alumni the Chief Judge of the Land Environment Court, Brian Preston, and many of the leading barristers and solicitors specialising in that field. Macquarie Law School also has many younger lecturers who are outstanding teachers, like Paul Govind and Andrew Burke, whose enthusiasm and commitment to teaching have assisted me greatly. I was pleasantly surprised when both Paul and Andrew responded to my queries about assignments on Sundays and public holidays. This shows their commitment to students is well beyond my and most people's expectations. Within my program, I was also able to learn from lecturers in other fields, such as Dr. Peter Davies from the Science Faculty, and I found this useful in gaining a greater understanding of the practical application of planning law. Personally, I would like to thank my wife, Christina, for all her assistance during my studies, my mother and mother-in-law for babysitting my daughter so that I could study, and my employer, Manly Council, for sponsoring me. Graduating with a degree from a university is a great achievement. Doing so from a university with a stronger reputation as Macquarie Uni is even greater. To my fellow graduates, I congratulate you all on your achievement today. On behalf of all the students graduating today, I would like to thank our lecturers, all the support staff, and all our families for supporting us during our studies. Thank you.
Well done, Hugo, and congratulations on your master's degree. And I think you gave our graduates today some very good advice. And by the way, I think we might engage you on our marketing team. You made a perfect pitch for coming back to Macquarie for further study. But I do take my hat off particularly, I take my hat off to everyone who graduates, but particularly to those who front up for a second degree and front up when they have all the responsibilities of work and family. That really is, I think, a great achievement to get another degree when you've got all of those other obligations. So it really is a tremendous achievement. Congratulations, and make sure, just because you've got one master's degree doesn't mean you can't come back and get another one. We'd love to see you back here, but well done. I think he deserves another great round of applause. wasn't too bad, was it? That glorious voice, ladies and gentlemen, belongs to the incomparable Angela Brewer. And I might say you were very lucky to hear Angela sing today. There was a possibility that she mightn't be able to make it today, and if she hadn't been able to come, I was going to do the singing. I think she deserves another great round of applause. We're also privileged to have some really great musicians. On the organ over there, Dr. James Forsyth. And on the trumpet, Melanie McLaughlin. We also have some other very special people here today. They're our alumni volunteers who give up their time to come and help out at our graduations and make sure that everything runs smoothly. I think they deserve a great round of applause too. Well, graduates, this ceremony marks the end of one stage in your relationship with Macquarie University, but it's certainly not the end of your association with Macquarie. From today on, for the rest of your lives, you are part of the bigger Macquarie family, which is our alumni, and part of the network of 167,000 Macquarie alumni spanning the globe. We'll keep in touch with you through our alumni program, which is focused on lifelong learning, lifelong support, and lifelong connections. Our commitment to you is to help you keep in touch and engaged with Macquarie throughout your life. And please do make sure you come back to Macquarie, either to undertake more study, to attend alumni events, use our aquatic and fitness facilities, or even, if you like, come back with family and friends to enjoy a picnic down by our lake. Well, now, graduates, the award of a university degree carries many opportunities and privileges. But like all privileges, it also carries responsibilities. Believe it or not, you, each and every one of you, can change the world. And you don't have to be a Nobel Prize winner to do it either. Because almost everything you do, in your homes, in your workplaces, and in your communities matters and can make a huge difference. The consequences of every effort, every action, large or small, can reverberate throughout society, through the decades, indeed the centuries. Even something as simple as a kind word or a kind gesture can be the spark that ignites a great life or a great career or a great achievement. So as Chancellor of Macquarie University, I charge you to use what you have learned, not only for your own benefit, but also for the benefit of the community. I charge you to use the skills and knowledge you have acquired with rigour and integrity, and to commit yourselves to a program of lifelong learning and inquiry. I charge you to recognise the worth and dignity of all people, particularly those who've not had the opportunities that you've enjoyed. I charge you to set high goals and to continue the hard work that has brought you so far. I charge you, wherever you go, to go with all your heart. And in all you do, I charge you to uphold the good name of Macquarie University. Now, graduates, I hope you'll always remember the people who helped you along the way, many of whom, of course, are here with you today. So to acknowledge their contribution and thank them for it, I'm now going to ask you to do a couple of things. Graduates, would you now please stand? Now I want you to place your degrees on the seats behind you so that your hands are free, and I'd like you to turn around to face your families and your friends. And now I invite you to give them a mighty round of applause. Well, graduates, you can turn around now, but don't sit down because we'll be leaving in just a moment. But I do remind you to pick up your degree. We wouldn't want anyone leaving it behind. Here on the dais behind me are representatives of our academic staff who've supported you throughout your journey, and I'm sure you'd like to join with me in thanking them as well. Well, ladies and gentlemen, shortly I will lead the official party out through the centre aisle, and it is my great honour to invite all of our new graduates and all of you to join us for refreshments overlooking the lake. I will now invite everyone to please stand, and please remain standing until the last graduate has processed out, and then I would like you all to join the academic procession right down to the marquee. Well, now, graduates, I wish you the very best for the future, and in the words of the old Irish blessing, may the road rise up to meet you, may the wind always be at your back, may the sun shine warm upon your face, and rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Graduates, good luck.